Building bonds after 60, one step at a time. Strong relationships are rarely built in one grand moment. They are built quietly, day by day, conversation by conversation, gesture by gesture. One honest word, one patient pause, one apology, one shared laugh, one walk, one hand reaching for another. After 60, this becomes especially important, because many bonds at this stage of life are not built from the excitement of beginning. They are built from the wisdom of continuing to care, continuing to listen, continuing to show up, continuing to choose connection even when life becomes busy, tired, complicated, or uncertain. And whether we are talking about marriage, friendship, family, or new companionship, one truth remains. Connection does not stay strong by accident. It must be tended. Like a fire, like a garden, like the body itself. If you stop feeding it, it weakens. If you stop paying attention, distance grows. Not always suddenly, sometimes slowly. So slowly that people do not notice until the warmth is gone. This is why building bonds after 60 must happen one step at a time. Not with pressure, not with perfection, but with intention. Because by this stage of life, people have lived enough to carry both wisdom and wounds. Some have lost friends. Some have lost spouses. Some have adult children who are busy with their own lives. Some have moved to new places. Some have retired and discovered that work was giving them more social connection than they realized. Some are surrounded by people, yet still feel unseen. And this is one of the quiet realities of aging that many people do not talk about enough. You can be around people and still feel lonely. You can be married and still feel emotionally distant. You can have family and still feel like nobody really knows what is happening inside you. So the question becomes, how do we rebuild real connection? How do we create bonds that are not shallow, rushed, or dependent on old roles? How do we stay emotionally alive when life has changed? The answer begins with one small step. Not a dramatic transformation, not a perfect relationship, not waiting for someone else to fix everything. One step. That step may be reaching out. It may be listening more carefully. It may be telling the truth gently. It may be joining a group. It may be repairing a relationship that matters. It may be setting a boundary with a relationship that drains you. It may be learning how to receive love instead of only giving it. Because many people over 60 have spent decades giving to children, giving to partners, giving to jobs, giving to parents, giving to communities, giving because life required it. And over time, some people become very good at being needed, but not very comfortable being known. That is a different thing. Being needed can feel useful. Being known can feel vulnerable. And real bonds require being known. Not by everyone, not all at once, but by someone. Someone who knows more than your schedule. Someone who knows what gives you joy. Someone who knows what you are afraid of. Someone who notices when your smile is covering exhaustion. Someone who does not only ask, "What did you do today?" but asks, "How are you really doing?" This is the kind of connection that protects the heart. And after 60, the heart needs protection. Not from love, but from isolation. Because isolation does not always look like sitting alone in a room. Sometimes isolation looks like never saying what you really feel. It looks like being the strong one all the time. It looks like always helping others, but never asking for help. It looks like joking when you are actually hurting. It looks like having contacts in your phone, but no one you feel you can call when life feels heavy. That is why building bonds after 60 is not just social. It is emotional health. It is nervous system health. It is part of staying human. We were not designed to carry life alone. Independence matters, but isolation is not independence. There is a difference. Independence means you can stand on your own feet. Connection means you do not have to stand alone every moment. Both matter. And one of the first steps to building stronger bonds is learning to make small bids for connection. A bid for connection is a simple reach. It might be saying, "Come look at this." It might be sending a message. It might be asking, "Would you like to walk with me?" It might be sharing a memory. It might be touching someone's arm gently. It might be saying, I would love to spend more time together. These small bids may not look dramatic, but they are the building blocks of closeness. The challenge is that many people stop making them. They assume others are too busy. They fear rejection. They do not want to seem needy. They tell themselves, I should not bother anyone. But connection often requires a little courage. Not giant courage, just enough to reach out. And if someone does not respond the way you hoped, it does not mean you are unworthy. It means that one door did not open. There are other doors. This matters because after 60, people sometimes become hesitant to start new friendships or deepen relationships. They think everyone already has their people. But that is not always true. Many people are quietly wishing someone would reach out first. Many people are lonely behind polite smiles. Many people would welcome a real conversation, but they do not know how to begin. So begin simply. Invite someone for coffee. Ask a neighbor about their garden. Join a walking group. Volunteer somewhere meaningful. Attend a class. Reconnect with an old friend. Call instead of only texting. Say yes sometimes, even when staying home feels easier. Because bonds are built through repeated presence. Not constant presence, repeated presence. Showing up again and again in small ways. This is also true in marriage and long-term partnerships. A couple may share years together, but still need to rebuild their bond one step at a time. Especially after major life changes, retirement, health problems, children leaving home, financial stress, moving, loss, caregiving. These changes can shift the rhythm of a relationship. Two people may suddenly have more time together, but not know how to connect emotionally. Or one person may feel invisible while the other assumes everything is fine. This is where small steps matter. A 10-minute conversation without distractions. A walk after dinner. A weekly date, even if it is simple. A shared project. A sincere compliment. A question asked with genuine curiosity. A soft apology instead of stubborn silence. These things rebuild emotional bridges. Because closeness is not only about love, it is about access. Can I access your attention? Can I access your kindness? Can I access your real thoughts? Can I access your softness? When couples lose access to each other, the relationship can begin to feel lonely. But access can return. Not through force, through practice, one step at a time. And one of the most powerful steps is learning to listen without immediately fixing. Many people listen with good intentions, but they rush to advice. Someone shares a feeling, and immediately the response is, "You should do this. Do not worry about it. That is not a big deal. Here is what I would do." But sometimes people do not need a solution first. They need to feel heard. They need someone to say, "That sounds hard. I understand why you feel that way. Tell me more. I am here." These phrases may sound simple, but they create safety. And safety is the soil where trust grows. Without safety, people withdraw. They stop sharing. They become polite instead of honest. And politeness is not the same as closeness. Closeness requires room for truth, but truth must be handled with care. After 60, many relationships could become stronger simply by changing the way hard conversations begin. Instead of, "You never listen," try, "I miss feeling heard by you." Instead of, "You do not care," try, "I have been feeling alone lately." Instead of, "You always do this," try, "Can we talk about something that has been bothering me?" This does not weaken the message. It makes the message easier to receive. Because when people feel attacked, they defend. When people feel invited, they may open. Not always, but more often. And building bonds after 60 also requires forgiveness in the right places. Not blind forgiveness, not tolerating harm, not pretending betrayal did not matter, but the everyday forgiveness that allows imperfect humans to remain close. Forgiving a sharp tone, forgiving forgetfulness, forgiving a tired reaction, forgiving the small disappointments that come from living alongside another human being. Because if every small mistake becomes a trial, the relationship becomes exhausting. People need room to be human. But room to be human does not mean room to be cruel. That distinction matters. Healthy bonds require both grace and boundaries. Grace says, "I know you are imperfect." Boundaries say, "And I still deserve respect." Both are needed. especially after 60, when energy is precious.
You cannot afford to spend your remaining years constantly drained by relationships that take everything and give nothing back.
Some bonds need rebuilding. Some bonds need distance. Some bonds need a new conversation. Some bonds need a new rhythm. And some bonds need to be released with peace. That too is part of wisdom. Because building bonds does not mean collecting people. It means cultivating relationships that carry life, not just noise. A strong bond does not require constant agreement. It requires respect. It requires honesty. It requires repair. It requires enough kindness to make the relationship feel safe. And it requires shared moments. This is one of the simplest truths. You cannot build closeness only in your mind. You build it through time. Real time. Walking together. Eating together. Talking together. Working on something together. Learning together. Laughing together. Even sitting quietly together. The shared ordinary moments become the threads. And over time, those threads become fabric. A fabric strong enough to hold difficult seasons. That is what we are really building after 60. Not perfect relationships. Stronger fabric. Because life will still bring hard days. There will be health scares. There will be grief. There will be uncertainty. There will be changes that nobody planned. And when those days come, the quality of your bonds matters deeply. Who can you call? Who can sit with you? Who will tell you the truth kindly? Who will remind you who you are when life shakes your confidence? Who will laugh with you when everything has been too serious? These are not small questions. They are part of the architecture of a meaningful life. And the good news is, bonds can still be built, even now, even slowly. Even if the past was lonely, even if trust has been difficult, even if you feel rusty at connection, you can begin. One message, one invitation, one honest conversation, one act of kindness, one boundary, one apology, one walk, one step. And this is important. Do not underestimate the power of being consistent. Many people are looking for dramatic connection, but what heals the heart is often consistency. Someone who calls when they said they would. Someone who listens without turning everything back to themselves. Someone who remembers what matters to you. Someone who shows up. Someone whose kindness does not disappear when life becomes inconvenient. Consistency creates trust. Trust creates safety. Safety creates closeness. And closeness creates a life that feels less lonely. That is the path. Not flashy, not complicated, but powerful.
After 60, building bonds also means allowing yourself to be more honest about what you need. This can feel uncomfortable, especially if you were raised to be strong, polite, or self-sufficient. But needs are not weaknesses. They are human signals. You may need more affection, more conversation, more companionship, more space, more reassurance, more patience, more shared joy. Saying what you need is not demanding. It is giving the relationship a chance to respond. People cannot always read your heart. Sometimes you must open the window. And if they care, they will at least try to understand. That is where real connection begins. Not in guessing, in sharing. So as you move through this chapter of life, ask yourself, which relationships feel nourishing? Which ones feel neglected? Which ones need repair? Which ones need boundaries? Which ones have I outgrown? Which ones deserve more of my attention? And perhaps most importantly, what kind of person do I want to be in the relationships I still have? Because building bonds is not only about finding the right people, it is about becoming someone who knows how to connect with maturity, someone who listens, someone who speaks honestly, someone who repairs, someone who does not make pride more important than love, someone who understands that time is precious and connection is not guaranteed. This is not always easy, but it is worth it. Because at the end of life, people rarely wish they had argued more. They rarely wish they had stayed more distant. They rarely wish they had protected their pride more fiercely. Most people wish they had loved better, listened more, reached out sooner, said the kind words while there was still time, Made the visit, taken the walk, asked the question, held the hand, shared the story.
So do not wait for perfect timing.
Perfect timing is often just fear wearing nice clothes.
Begin where you are, with the people who matter, with the relationships that still have warmth, with the friendships that could grow, with the family bonds that need tenderness, with the partner sitting beside you, with yourself.
Because the first bond you rebuild may be the one with your own heart.
The part of you that still wants connection, the part of you that still believes in companionship, the part of you that is tired of being strong alone. Listen to that part. It is not foolish. It is alive. And after 60, staying alive inside is one of the greatest forms of strength. So build slowly, build honestly, build with patience, build with courage, one step at a time. Because the most meaningful bonds are not always built in dramatic moments. Sometimes they are built on a park bench, in a kitchen, during a phone call, on a morning walk, in a quiet apology, in a shared laugh, in the simple decision to keep showing up. And that is enough. More than enough. It is how connection returns. It is how love deepens. It is how companionship becomes real. One step at a time. One person at a time. One honest moment at a time. Because after 60, the goal is not to have a crowded life. The goal is to have a connected one. A life where love is practiced, trust is protected, communication is honest, and companionship becomes one of the quiet treasures of growing older. That is how we build bonds after 60. Not all at once, not perfectly, but faithfully, one step at a time. In the next episode, we will look at something many people feel after 60, but few talk about openly: the hidden cost of loneliness. Because loneliness is not always obvious. It does not always look like being alone in a room. Sometimes it looks like being surrounded by people, but still feeling unseen. Sometimes it looks like having family, but no one who really asks how you are doing. Sometimes it looks like staying busy, smiling politely, and quietly carrying more than anyone knows. And after 60, that kind of loneliness can affect more than your mood. It can affect your energy, your confidence, your stress, your daily habits, and the way you experience life itself.
But loneliness is not a life sentence. Connection can be rebuilt.
Slowly, honestly, one small step at a time. Until then, keep nurturing the bonds that matter. Keep reaching for real connection. And stay re-inspired.
I hope this video brought you value and re-inspired you. If so, please subscribe, hit like, and leave a comment. And if anybody you know could use a little re-inspiration, please send it to them. Thank you so much for watching.